Hi guys, welcome back to Gym Girls Unfiltered. I'm excited about today's episode. Today we're going to talk about why endless cardio is not the answer for fat loss or building your dream body and what actually works. So of course we're going to start out. I want to see what all the hosts are up to right now. Kate, what are you doing?
So I really don't have any updates for like my fitness and bodybuilding stuff. Just checked in with my coach today, waiting to hear back from him. But I guess some personal life updates that are kind of exciting is I will be moving to Texas in January officially. I'm looking for a travel nursing job. I'm going to take that, which will be super new for me, but really fun. And I'm excited about that. I'm about to finish my bachelor's in nursing and I'm already looking at nurse practitioner school. So a lot of new changes, but I'm really excited. But that's about like all the updates for me. Caroline, what's going on with you?
Yeah, so in my fitness and bodybuilding stuff, not much of an update, still in my growing phase. And then on the life side of things, still just looking for a job. I do have some things that I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to hear back from two companies, so we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. But other than that, not much going on over here. How about you, Alani?
I love it. Still in my growing, still in my reverse dieting, fueling my body the right way. I'm now, gosh, like Friday will be 7 weeks post show, and I'll be on the kind of tail end of my reverse, focusing on maintaining, growing some lean muscle. Have a lot of travel coming up, so I'm just making sure to stay on track, stay balanced with all of that. But just gonna be growing for a while, so I'm excited. But we wanted to talk today a lot. I think this is gonna be a really powerful episode, and all of us have come from so many different positions in our fitness journey, and I think that there's so much out there about cardio in social media and just out there in general. And I think especially women are taught that more cardio equals weight loss. Like that's what we need to be focusing on. I don't know, one thing that I remember way back when I started is I think it was gosh, probably no, it was junior year of high school. And I was getting really serious into the gym. I didn't really know what the most important things were. And I remember vividly going on a vacation and making myself wake up every morning. We were in North Carolina. There were no gyms nearby. So I was like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do sprints up the mountain and then run a mile every morning. I hate running. If you like running, absolutely. But I just remember being in this cycle of I need to do cardio or else I'm going to get fat. And I'm so glad that little old Alani didn't go down that path. But I don't know. What was your guys' experience with cardio when you started?
I just knew that I was seeing all these girls on social media that had like abs and this tone like physique. And I was like, okay, I need to lose weight and that's what's going to make me look like that. Well, turns out I just started running on my little dirt road in Bada, Georgia, where I'm from. And I would run for like 30 minutes and then it slowly just started creeping up. And that's what I did every single day. Would not miss a day. And then I lost a bunch of weight. I lost like 20 pounds. So this is kind of like the introduction to my fitness journey. And I lost 20 pounds. And then I was like, wait, what the heck? I do not look like these girls. What am I doing wrong? And I just started obsessing over if I didn't run or do any of this stuff, I was going to get fat or something, or my day was over. And I remember I was obsessed with running, but I was also obsessed with the calorie number on my Apple Watch. And shoot, if I forgot to wear my watch, day was over already.
It didn't count. It didn't count.
The amount of calories that my workout said that I burned was everything to me. And I just was obsessed with cardio calories. And that's literally what consumed my brain. And not even the expenditure that I made, but also what I consumed. And the more cardio I did, the better. And the less I consumed, the better I felt. I thought. Not true at all. But I don't know. I think that was kind of my introduction with it and kind of how my mindset was in. And I would love to talk later about kind of what I do now and how I think about it now. But Caroline, what about you? What's your personal experience?
Yeah, so I played lacrosse in high school, so I did do a ton of running. And before I knew anything about weight training, before I knew anything about lifting weights, I was definitely the runner. So to begin my fitness journey too, when I did first start out, I thought running was the way to lose weight. So I would come home from school or lacrosse practice and I'd be like, okay, Dad, I'm going for my 2 mile run around the loop. And I'd put my sneakers on. I definitely had two pair of running shoes. You will not catch me with a pair of running shoes in my closet anymore. And I'd be like, all right, Dad, I'll see you in a little bit. And I would go and I would run like you, Alani, 2 miles every single day. And my day was not over until I ran those 2 miles. Now I do not run at all. You will not catch me running. To all of of you who love running, nothing against it. I will never run.
Yeah, and not even like it's not even just a cardio trap. I think it's a cardio and a weight loss trap combined. I think a lot of people in today's society kind of put the two together, like cardio is great, weight loss great. That's what I need to do to get to my goals. And that's not always true. Like, yeah, maybe some people need to lose some weight just to be healthy. But as a young girl, I think I was like 16, I did not need to lose weight. And the answer to getting how I wanted to look was definitely not just do cardio and more cardio. But I think that a lot of people hear weight loss, that means I'm going to lose fat, and that means I'm going to get the body I want. And they just automatically go to cardio machines. And I don't know if it's because it's easier and like everyone knows how to do cardio like already. And if like the gym is just scary to everyone, I don't really know like where the trap there lives. But I think we could kind of bridge into like why cardio isn't the answer to get the body we want and kind of like the benefits of lifting, if y'all wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying too, like why we avoid maybe the gym and why we gravitate towards cardio. I remember like when I was thinking back to when I was in that headspace of I need to be running, I need to be doing these things, and I wasn't doing it because I was enjoying it. Like you said, Kate, and like you said, Caroline, I was doing it because like I was like, I need to lose weight, I need to do all these things, which came from a toxic mindset. But I was like, I want to be burning calories, and I wasn't focusing on the right things. And I think when I think back, the thing that made me almost change my perception and give myself permission to not hyperfixate on cardio and more so give more of my energy to actually weight training and resistance training was a podcast that I was listening to. And I remember it was like these three guys and they were all very science-based. And I think what made me finally break out of that was that you actually burn more calories when you're weight training. And again, I was still hyper fixated on the calories, and that's not what I should have been focusing on. I should have been focusing on, okay, I need to build muscle so that I can get strong and like get that toned physique that we want, right? Like building that muscle underneath. But I think when I finally heard that, where it's like, hey, if you're building muscle in the gym, you're burning calories that way, right? Your activity level is higher, which is what I think I was focusing on. Like you said, Kate, like that calorie burn, like the workouts. So I think once I realized, hey, you're still burning calories, but not only are you burning calories and being active, you're also building muscle to where you're burning more calories at rest because your body has more muscle. So was that the best way to kind of transition into getting into the gym? Maybe not, but I think that little mental shift of, hey, I can give myself permission to weight train and feel good about it. I think that's kind of what helped me.
Yeah, I definitely think bouncing off of what you said about the toneness and Kate, what you said about kind of why cardio won't give you that toned look is because cardio might be great to help lose some of that initial weight, but it's not going to help you get that toneness that you get from putting on that muscle and building the muscle. So cardio is a great tool to use on top of weight training and building that muscle. But if you do want to get that toneness and lose body fat, it's going to come from weight training, building that muscle, adding on cardio to then lose that fat and that toneness coming through and the muscle that you built. So it's great to use to add on, but doing cardio alone is not going to really get you that toned muscle look that you want.
When I started like my fitness journey, a lot of like older women, especially in my life and my family, they're like, oh, you don't need to lift weights because you're going to look bulky and you're going to be big and you don't want to look like that. So in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, they're right. I need to be as small as possible. And that also kind of contributed to like my spiraling cardio obsession and less food obsession. But as I went on and I started feeling miserable, and after I lost that 20 pounds and I looked like a little, I don't even know how to put it. I just like had no like shape or definition. I was literally just like a stick. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I think we listened to the same podcast, Lonnie. Was it like Mind Pump? Yeah, Mind Pump.
Yep.
I listened to them, and then I was obsessed with like all the YouTube girls back then, Whitney Simmons, Dana Lynn Bailey, I think that's her name. And just like all those girls, Heidi Summer. And I just started just obsessing over their videos and watching them and learning. And that's how I started like just working on it at home and slowly started. It was nothing crazy because I was scared to death to go into the gym. So like I just started and I slowly learned like, okay, lifting is giving me like toned muscle. I don't look like a women bodybuilder or anything that's like or like whatever that my grandma told me I was gonna look like. And I remember just feeling so good. And I remember like my hunger started creeping up. I started slowly eating more. And just like over time, I tapered down my cardio. I still do a little bit because it makes me feel good. But I slowly started to learn that cardio is not the answer and it's not going to give me the body that I want. It comes from lifting and building muscle. And like you guys were talking about, the more you lift and the more muscle you have, the more you literally have to eat because some of those that I read one time was like muscle is so like expensive to our bodies. Like we have to feed it more. And like I've seen this everywhere. Everyone's like, you cannot fuel a car with no gas. Like you literally have to fuel your body if you want it to keep performing. And I just started like looking at food as fuel. And that's just kind of like how I started getting into like actually bodybuilding and competing.
I love that. I was actually just like 30 minutes ago finished up some client check-ins, and I have a lot of like fat loss clients, people that are wanting to like change their body composition. And one of the questions I got that I get a lot is one of my clients was like, oh, like I'm just walking, like how much cardio should I be doing? You know, I want to be seeing fat loss. And again, we've been on the right track, right? She's been losing about a pound and a half a week. That's the zone I like to keep them in, because I always say like we don't want to shrink ourselves. We're wanting to change our body composition. We don't just want to be like slashing everything. So anyways, I was responding to that, and the language I used was like, there's no golden number of like the amount of cardio that we need to be doing to reach your goals. And I think that that's something, especially as women, that we have in our head of, tell me how much cardio I need to do. That's what's going to get me to my dream body. That's what's going to solve this issue and get me from point A to point B. Like for some reason, we all have this idea in our head. And I actually don't program cardio for any of my lifestyle clients. I don't. I measure their activity level through their step count, because how I explain it to them is when we're wanting to see fat loss, and we've talked about this quite a few times, we can go more in depth in a whole nother video, but we want to be in a calorie deficit. And the easiest way to control that is with our nutrition. So obviously that is going to take up, if we're eating say 1,800 calories in a day and you're doing cardio and burning 200, 1,800 is a lot easier to control and keep us in that deficit. But anyways, where I was going with that is I measure their activity level through their steps. So I told her, I was like, hey, the fact that you're doing walks is perfect. As long as you're hitting your nutrition targets and you're hitting your step count, like that's how I'm measuring your activity level. So a lot of girls will come to me, maybe their average steps are like 5,000. So instead of being like, hey, we're going to do this much cardio, I'll be like, let's increase our step count to 8,000, right? Something where it's like a few thousand above what you're doing. So there really is no like perfect amount of cardio. It's just like, that's another tool, as Caroline said earlier, to help us to lose fat. And I think prioritizing our nutrition and prioritizing our weight training is just the easier way to go about it and like build the body that you want, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you just said, prioritize your weight training, because that is literally what is going to build your body and give you shape and build muscle. I used to go into the gym and I would do my cardio first. And at this point, I was doing like 30 minutes of stairs every single day. I would do my 30 minutes of stairs, fasted, and then I would go like lift. Oh my gosh, I wish I could like just go pull myself off that Stairmaster. But
so you did fasted cardio before and then you weight train?
Yes.
With no food in your system.
I've come a really long way, yes.
Yeah, Kate used to train fasted every single day at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh,
And even just doing your cardio before weight training, it's like I can't even, now that seems so like, oh my gosh, why would you ever do cardio before weight training? But I used to do that all the time. I forgot that like that was even a thought in my mind. I remember Googling like, do you need to do cardio after or before? And I'm like, well,
Yeah, I definitely did that.
Of course, yeah.
Make it worse, this was like in my prep last year when I was like depleted.
No way.
Oh my God, Kate.
So catabolic. My muscle was like just eating away at itself. And I am embarrassed to talk about it and I hate looking back at it, but like it really taught me a lot. And now I can tell my clients the same exact thing. And I will never do that again. Like I cannot believe I did that just like a year and a half ago.
But it's so true, because it's like we all did the same things when we started out. It's like it's so drilled into us now since it's such a big part of our life. But I'm like, of course, like who would know that? Who would know to like not train fasted?
I had literally no idea. And the coach I was working with at the time didn't like give me any like education about it.
Yeah.
I just thought, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get my cardio done. It's making me feel good, and then I'll lift, because thinking about doing cardio used to make me so anxious. I just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah.
But if like that's you, don't do that. Eat your meal and then go get your lift in. You want to put all your fuel and your energy into your lift because like we said, the more muscle you have and the stronger you're getting and the more you're lifting, you're going to have to eat to fuel your body and then do your cardio after. But lifting should always be our priority. And then cardio is a tool, like Caroline and Alani said. We only should use cardio as a tool, like if we want to get deeper into a deficit, or if like you're in a growing season, like me and Caroline and Alani is going into now. Cardio can still be a tool, like just to help you feel good. I'm only doing 3 times a week, 15 or 20 minutes, and it literally just makes me feel good. But it also keeps you like insulin sensitive, which is kind of scientific for this. But if it makes you feel good, you can do a little bit, but it shouldn't be like the majority of your movement, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And that's a question like I get a lot, and I'll keep it short because I don't want to ramble on about it. But I do get the question a lot of how much cardio I'm doing now that I'm like 6 weeks post show. And I want to say, so my cardio was high during bodybuilding prep, of course, and utilizing it as a tool in like an extreme setting. And again, it's not our biggest focus, but it tapered down over like the 4 weeks post show. And now I only have a step count, but like Kate was saying too, I do cardio when I want to feel good. So like yesterday after my lift, of course, so that I used my food as my training. I did the Stairmaster for like 20, 25 minutes, and I'll do that a few times a week. But really what I'm paying attention to is my food and my step count, and then doing cardio, like when it's intuitive for me, when I feel good about doing it, not making it like a stressor or something that I have to do.
Yeah, my step count post show came down to like steps, I want to say within like the first 3 weeks, and I was just aiming for like 10 to 12,000 steps. And then as I got like my food super high, and right now I'm eating the most I've ever ate in my entire life, I did just get like 5 by 15 minutes of cardio put back in. And I do it when I feel like it during the day. As long as I get it in, that's all that matters. And I don't do it to lose weight and, start to lose weight again. I just do it to keep my health and keep, like Kate said, just keep my metabolism going and
your
just
digestion,
make me feel
right?
good. Yeah.
Has your digestion been feeling better with that?
Yeah, it has. I feel so much better doing cardio, especially on my rest days. I program my cardio, like my 15 minutes right now, usually on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And then on my rest days, like I'm still, I think, at like 2,400 calories. So when I don't do cardio and my food just sits, I feel so gross. So I've been doing it like in the middle of the day or at night. And then I just feel like, my body's just getting some movement. My digestion's helping. So it's helped a lot.
That's
A
awesome.
personal like experience I have like with a client recently is she came to me and she was doing cardio, but she was also doing like these HIIT style workouts. So it's pretty much like strength training with like a cardio like sense behind it. And it was like super high reps, super low weight, and like 30-second rest in between each set. And we really had to have a heart to heart because she was really confused like with the program I sent her. And she was like, oh, this is just different. I've never done anything like this. And after talking to her about it, she was like, okay. And we've been really working on her like lifting heavy, rest between her sets, and not looking at it as cardio, but looking at it as like strength training, weight training, and growing muscle, progressive overload, all the things. And y'all, she sent me a picture yesterday. I meant to send it to y'all, but she was like, this may be TMI for like any guys, but she was just like, look at my butt, like look at my glutes, like I'm actually building muscle. And that's what weight training actually gives you. Like I remember wanting to like grow my glutes and like just get like a great like toned physique, especially my lower body. And when I was like in my cardio cycle, I was like, why is this not doing for me? But that just goes like another point to like why you should like weight train and not just do cardio, because cardio is literally just going to eat away at muscle and fat. So like if you're just doing cardio and not weight training, you're not going to get the body you want.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think it also comes with like a whole mindset shift too, exactly what our whole podcast is behind. And that really is, be strong, not skinny, like embrace the muscle growth. And being woman, you're not going to get bulky. You really are just going to build that toneness you want, build that muscle definition you want, and build the butt that you want, just like Kate was talking about. So at the end of the day, it really is going to benefit you. I think it's just a mindset shift of really getting over that whole cardio phase. But we all started out there. So this isn't like something that we, knew right away. We all started out as little cardio bunnies and slowly grew. So
it is hard though, like especially me coming out of prep, even like towards the tail end of prep, my coach was like, okay, no cardio today. And I had such a bad relationship with cardio. I remember like I would do cardio even when he told me not to, because I was like, no, more is better. More is better. I need to do cardio. I need to be leaner. And you know what it did? It just made my body look more stressed out and fatigued. So like if anyone's listening to this and you kind of find yourself feeling like, oh no, I need to do cardio. Okay, fine. Maybe just do like 10 minutes post workout and then slowly taper down from there. And we're not saying to totally cut out cardio, because we've all said like it's a great tool we all still use and it makes us feel good, a small amount. So like maybe put all your time and energy into your training, and then implement cardio like 3 to 4 to 5 times a week, like 15 minutes like Caroline does, or 20 depending on your goals. But like if your goal is to build muscle, you don't need a lot of cardio. Just cardio like a little bit to feel good. But I'm a firm believer in a step count and just tracking your daily expenditure. I think that goes a long way.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think it's a way to be more consistent with it too. And I think something that comes along with having cardio be like such a non-negotiable is that people prioritize it more than other things, and it becomes almost like a punishment, and it feels like this negative connotation to it. Or if you're like, maybe you're going out to eat one day and you're like, maybe I like overdid it a little bit, and then you're punishing yourself with cardio. I think that's where it can get really toxic too, is it shouldn't be a punishment. It shouldn't be something that you have to do or that you're forcing yourself to do and stressing yourself out about. It really is just a tool, and shifting our focus, like we've been saying this whole episode, towards your nutrition, towards your weight training, towards getting stronger. I think it really just comes down to focusing on the most important things.
Yeah. And there's no one size fits all amount of cardio you should do, like Alani was saying earlier. And there's no like best form of cardio. I don't run. Caroline obviously says she doesn't run. I prefer to do like an incline treadmill walk. I'm not a Stairmaster girly anymore. I know a lot of people like the elliptical, but like all you have to do for cardio is get your heart rate up. And for a good amount, for like our goals, like we pretty much do like LISS and MISS. So I personally track my heart rate. I make sure I'm like at 120 to 140. I usually stay in like the 130, 140 in, just because I like to go faster. But like you don't have to do anything crazy. Like don't make yourself go outside and run if you don't like to run.
No. And that's such a great point too. And what Kate was talking about, LISS, is like low intensity steady state. And we get questions about that all the time of like, what are you doing for cardio? What's the best cardio? And she's exactly right. Like the only thing I'm monitoring when I'm doing programmed cardio is my heart rate. Like that's what matters, is I stay within the zone of January. Yeah. Like 130 to 140, I feel like for me is my sweet spot of where I'm feeling good, but it's not so high intensity that like you're affecting your recovery. So it's something where it's like, okay, I'm getting my heart rate up. I'm getting a good sweat going. I'm able to keep it like holding there and get some movement in. And yeah, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. I think the best movement is movement that you enjoy and that makes you feel good.
Yeah. And like, we're not saying to totally cut cardio out. I think the perfect recipe is something that has where you are doing a weight training program for your goals, like 4 to 5 times a week, going into the gym, really aiming to lift heavier than last week, get stronger, and then sprinkling the cardio independent on your goals. Like, of course, if you're in prep, you're going to have a lot of cardio eventually, but don't be like me and don't do your cardio first, please.
Yeah. I think it depends on where you're at in your journey, what your goals are, and where you're starting out, and just fit it in for what works for you. Because even me, Kate, and Alani all have different, plans, all have different cardio routines, all do different forms of cardio, and it's what works best for us, our body, and our goals. So there is, like Kate says, no like one size fits all.
Yeah. But I think that's everything I have to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I know that like I wish I had, and I think you guys do too, like had somebody that told me that from the beginning. So I don't know, it really comes back to just focusing on the right things, and that's what we're here for. We want to be like your big sisters in the gym and telling you all the things that we wish we knew. So I think this is a great episode. We're looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one.
It was short, sweet, but very effective,
informative, and helpful. Yeah.
I think a lot of people need to hear this and need to hear, like, especially if you're like getting into the gym and your fitness journey, cardio is not the end all be all. You should mix it with a good weight training program so you're able to get stronger, have a faster metabolism, and get that physique you want.
Yep.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Cardio alone.
I love it. I love it. All right. I think we covered all the bases. If you guys have any questions, our DMs are always open. Leave a comment on the podcast. But we'll see you guys in the next episode. Again, dropping every 5 a.m. on all of your favorite platforms and on YouTube. If you want to see our faces, we're there as well on Gym Girls Unfiltered.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.